Peter, how you doing, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Welcome back to another episode of Strike Thoughts. We're gonna do what we're gonna do this week, Pete, is we're gonna quickly, and we're not gonna brush over it. I love your background, by the way, but
Is it?
we're not gonna spend too much time on the card that's coming up on the weekend, purely because I don't really know anybody.
It's just the main event. It's just the main
Yeah,
event.
just pretty much sort of the main event and a couple of other fighters on it, but we'll go from there. But what we do want to do is your mate Conor McGregor was giving it on Twitter this week, and no one asked for it, but he named his favourite, what he thought was his goats and that. So I thought, if anyone else if he's got the right to do it, we've got the right to do it. So why don't we
Oh, of
have that
course.
conversation? We have that
I
conversation as
know.
well.
Yeah, we're on his level.
Yeah, we've achieved everything in MMA that Conor McGregor has. So, why can't we talk about it?
I didn't realise how much that would kick off.
Yes, you did.
I don't.
He did.
No, I don't know. No, I don't know whether he planned it. Yeah, but not. It's got other people involved that he didn't even mention. He didn't even have to mention people's names, and they're chiming in either having a go at him or sort of sticking with it. I think some of it's bullshit. I know him and John Jones are mates. I've seen them in videos together before.
Same.
Fucking any publicity is fucking publicity, isn't it?
What did he say exactly then?
He just put it up. I think he was like, "Oh, this is my pound for pound greatest of all time." And I think he started off the first one with, obviously he had Silver at the top, and then he said he was a close second. But now I think John Kavanagh has put something up about stats. I don't know whether you saw that one. I don't know if I sent you it. So McGregor's come back out after that going, "Oh, well, actually, after looking at these stats, you can't really argue that I'm number one." And he's basically because Kavanagh's put up that he's a two-weight world champion in two different organisations.
Right.
And I'm not sure if anyone else is. There maybe someone else that ain't in the list, but the 4 or 5 that Kavanagh put up, someone come close, but they only had one belt in another organisation,
right,
or something like that. But he's just taking a piss. He's taking a piss out of John Jones and GSP because GSP's got 8 knockouts and Jones has only got 10 out of more fights than what McGregor's had. And he's like, "What the hell is this 8 and 10 all about?" And it's like he's got the quickest knockout in both. I think he's got obviously not Masvidal, but he's got the 13 or 14 seconds in UFC, and then he's got one that's 3 seconds in Cage Warriors. So he's like, "Look, man, the stats speak for themselves." So I don't know whether maybe he was just putting it up as a laugh or just fucking putting an opinion up, but it's just kicked off so much.
It's difficult to know with him because he's always. I know that he's trying to stoke a reaction, but then that could actually be his honest opinion. He could think he's the best, and why not?
Yeah.
Why would you not think? Especially at that level, you kind of have to believe that, no?
Yeah, of course. That's why when they come out with this Usman thing, I was like as a fan, I'm thinking to myself, "Oh no, don't do that." It's I don't really see you winning. It's going to be the same sort of thing as Khabib. You'd have to land that one perfect shot. But then I think to myself, "Fuck it, he's done everything else." It's just why would he not just give it a go? I don't know. But
he could bang him. You never know. He could just connect with a left.
Yeah.
You never know. I don't think he beats Usman personally, but MMA predictions, you can't do it. You can't do it. What we'll do, let's quickly just talk about the card that's coming up this weekend. Again, I don't think, and again, I'm not being disrespectful. It shouldn't take us too long, but we'll start off with the prelims. We've got a featherweight bout of Chris Gutierrez against Vince Morales. We've got a bantamweight between Lewis Smoker and Casey Kenny. We've got a flyweight between Tim Elliott and Brandon Royval, and then we've got Jamal Hill against Clinton Abreu. No weight on that one. I don't know if you've been on the UFC website. For some reason, they haven't got a weight on it. Why would that be, do you think?
No, I've not seen that one. I've no idea.
It's weird.
It's like a catch weight. Yeah, unless one of them's having problems. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's only a small card, isn't it? I think it's quite a... There's not that many fighters, so they probably don't want to lose any.
Yeah. Main event of the prelims is Caitlin Chikagian against Antonina Shevchenko. That's at women's flyweight, obviously, so that should be a good fight.
Is that Thingy's sister? Is that Valentina's sister?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because didn't that Chikagian, whatever her name is, just fight Valentina?
Let's have a look.
I'm sure she just had the title shot.
So yeah, I know with so Antonina Shevchenko. So she was supposed to fight Cynthia Calvillo in April, but obviously that's been cancelled. Yeah, she is Valentina's sister. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's just coming off a fight in one, and now she's got to fight the other sister.
That's mad. That's mad. Okay, so we've got siblings is Valentina Shevchenko. What happened in the Shevchenko Chikagian fight then? Obviously Shevchenko probably won.
Yeah, she was perfect. I can't remember how she finished her. It might have been like, I don't think it was like a devastating. Maybe she head kicked her and then just pounced on her, I think. But yeah, that girl didn't really stand a chance. Even though she's really good, Joe Rogan was bigging her up, saying that Chichagin's like got really good like Muay Thai, like kickboxing, but yeah, just fucking different level.
Yeah, round 3. 1 minute into round 3, Shevchenko finished Caitlin off. 19 wins for Valentina now. Just absolute beast. Sick. Absolute beast. So
for me, she's one of like the best at the moment. I think only coming off of Amanda's last performance, I didn't think she was that good. Like there was moments in that where I was a bit like, oh, she's fucking like she's human. She can get beat, but Valentina just seems to be getting a bit better with every fight.
The technical striking is unreal. The kicks, the spinning attacks. She's coming from anywhere. Yeah, her movement and stuff. Yeah. She's sick, bruv. She's sick. She's another one. The dancing and fighting. They entwine so much. And she spent years dancing, a bit like Lomachenko and a bit like Kevin Lee. All these fighters are like that have been dancers. It's such a crazy the way they overlap. I find it fascinating. I really do.
Izzy's got moves.
That's it, exactly. Yeah, and Romero. Don't forget about Romero.
Oh God, yeah. That's what they did in their last fight. Fucking dance off.
Disrespectful. So then we've got, but moving on to the main card, we've got Mackenzie Dern against Hannah Siffers. That's in the strawweight women's. We've got Roosevelt Roberts against Brock Weaver in a lightweight fight. We've got Billy Quarantillo against Spike Carlisle. Again, there's no weight on that one, so we'll see what happens there. Then we've got Big Blagoy Ivanov heavyweight against Augusto Sakai. I've got Ivanov's record up here, obviously. Some really, really impressive wins. His last fight was when he lost to Derek Lewis. That was on a split decision. But he's beat Tai Tuivasa before that. He beat Ben Rothwell. He lost to JDS, as you do, but then he's beat, he would come on for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fight win streak. So what do you reckon about Ivanov, brother? Again, I don't really see him in a title picture, but he is a ranked fighter. No. What do you think?
Yeah, I've seen him in a couple of fights. It's pretty decent, but he's tough. I don't know. He could stand there and bang. I think I don't think I've seen this other guy. Maybe I have. I just don't recognise his name. For me, he's not like a
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this other guy, Augusto Sakai, is coming off a 5-fight win streak. He has had 3 fights in the UFC. He's beat Chase Sherman. He beat Arlovsky. That was on a split decision, and then he beat Marcin Tubira on KO and punches. He has only ever had 1 loss, and that was in Bellator against Czech Congo. So
okay, where's he from?
Let's have a look. Brazil.
Okay.
He is a Japanese. He's a Japanese Brazilian mixed martial arts.
So I was going to say his name sounds fucking Japanese. I don't know. Hopefully, it's fucking. Never know with him. That's what I mean with this card. Even though we don't know that many people in there, that like some of the best fights I've seen lately. Obviously, the big ones lived up to it, but some of the lower down fights I didn't even know were better than the ones that I was expecting more of. So
100%.
I'm just happy to fucking. You can't just. That's what I mean. People just where's all the big names and stuff, but then they've got like 500 people on the roster. It's like everyone's got a fight. It's ridiculous.
Bruv, I am happy. You could put a couple of fucking chickens in that octagon. I'll watch it right now. Like I'm ready. Yeah. I want to see some fights. So like I'm happy. I'll never be like, oh, where's the big names? And listen, if you do want some big names, it takes us nicely onto the main event. One of the greatest welterweights to ever grace the face of the earth, Tyron Woodley, is fighting. He's coming off the loss against Kamaru Usman, but before that, the man hadn't lost since 2014. Beating Darren Till, Damian Maia, Wonderboy once, and then he drew against him. Robbie Lawler, Kevin Gastelum, you know, Josh Koscheck, Carlos Condit. Like, mate, he's an absolute Paul Daly. Like, some of the people that this guy has put down, people have just forgotten about him, bruv. Now, I know, obviously, Gilbert Burns is no walkover. He's coming off a 5-fight win streak again. He's beat Damian Maia. He's beat Gunnar Nelson. He's beat Alexei Kunchenko. Olivier Aubin-Mercier, he beat as well. His last loss was against Big Dan Hooker, who's obviously no slouch as well, a ranked fighter in the lightweight division. So, yeah, tell me about this fight. What are you thinking, Pete?
I didn't know so that was at lightweight. I didn't know he was a lightweight before. Or, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. He looks like he's on the up, but then Woodley never really went away. He could have just had like one bad performance. Like he said, like maybe he just wasn't in it that fight. But he seems like it's been building up for a long time for him to come back and fight someone. Like, I still think he could. I don't know, actually. Like, he could probably still beat everyone in that division. Maybe not. Well, maybe he could beat Usman. I don't know. Maybe it was just an off night. But it's just so exciting. I think I watched the Robbie Lawler fight again the other day, and it's just like comes out of nowhere. He's always got that. Like, people say, you know, like you mentioned, like Conor with his left hand, maybe he's always looking for that. But with Tyron Woodley, it's just, you know, it's just like the speed and athleticism as well. It's just, fuck that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to fight. I wouldn't want to fight him. No way.
Absolutely not. Yeah, natural athlete, genetics. He's a beast.
And the people he's beat as well. He's fucking. You look at the people that Burns has beat compared to him. It's like he's not really on that. I wouldn't say he's on that level at the moment. Even Damian Maia, Damian Maia's pretty past it now. Like, he's fucking getting on a bit. He's had so many fights, and even though it was a good knockout, it was like, it's just Damian Maia. Do you know what I mean? He's not the best. He's not the best stand-up guy. He's not. I doubt. I don't know. Actually, it could go either way. Like, it could just be like one punch, whoever lands that first one. But no, I see Woodley. I think Woodley's got more tools.
Yeah, we don't like to do predictions, but I'm pretty sure. I think Woodley is sort of gonna get a W. I believe, however he does it, I'm not sure, but I just think the difference in class of fighters, I just think Woodley will win. But if Burns does win, what a rise it will be! It'll put him obviously in the contention for a title shot and that kind of stuff. So it's a bit of a you know, okay, so let's say, I was going to say it's a bit of a win-win for Gilbert because, you know, he doesn't really lose anything. But for Woodley had all these fights, you know, there's so many higher people in the welterweight division that Woodley could fight. I know Woodley's got a bit of a tumultuous relationship with Dana, which doesn't help. But I just feel like Woodley is on a level of the Usmans and the Colbys and that kind of stuff, but he still seems to be getting, well, Burns is obviously highly ranked, but I don't know. Let's say if Woodley wins, what do you think? Do you think he's got to go straight back to a title shot?
Yeah, UFC is different, isn't it? He ain't got to have too many before he's back in the title picture again. Especially if it is like a knockout or a dominant performance. I think he maybe just took this fight because he's been out for so long and he just wanted something. So everyone was saying, "Oh, I know him and Colby were going back and forth, saying they wanted to fight each other." And I can't remember whether it's them two that have sparred together or something, or maybe it's Masvidal and Colby. I can't remember, but yeah, they was going back and forth, and Woodley saying, "I'll fight Colby whenever. I'll do it on the island. I don't care." Blah blah blah. And then Colby come out and said, "Like you don't want this. He's just talking shit." And then it didn't happen.
Right.
So you wonder why, but now he's just taking a fight just because it's there. Like, he doesn't have to take the Gilbert Burns fight, but
absolutely
he could have just waited even more. But I think it's good. It's a good opportunity to get back in there.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he could still beat anyone in that division, I think.
Got the rankings up for the welterweights. Obviously, you've got Kamaru Usman as champion, who beat Woodley for the title. That was an absolutely dominant display. And then you've got number one. Woodley is still ranked number one welterweight. You've got Colby, Masvidal, Leon Edwards, Wonderboy, and then Gilbert Burns is sitting in sixth. So, yeah, Gilbert Burns obviously beat Maia, who's ranked number 7. So the welterweight division kind of makes sense. Big Nate Diaz still at number 10. Go on, Nate. And then you've got Conor McGregor sitting there at 14th as well. It's a very interesting division. Very, very interesting. Yeah. Well, he beat Cowboy in the welterweight division, and Cowboy was a ranked fighter because he beat Pettis. So, you know, it's a bit of a it's straight. Pettis beat him, but it was his last fight. I can't remember who he beat, but he banged someone out. So yeah, it's a very, very interesting weight division that, and for one against 6 is obviously a bit weird, but I think you're right. I think there wasn't really a lot of options on the table, and Woodley just wants to get in there.
That's a weird one as well. I don't know. I'd put he's number one contender.
Woodley is.
Fucking hell. I know he's only had one loss, but it's been quite a while. And on that time, Masvidal's been smashing through everyone. I would have thought he'd be up there, but
Masvidal's third, even behind Colby. That's the thing. It's weird.
That's bullshit. I think like because there was all that. I got to be excited anyway last week, if no one else did. When all this Usman McGregor shit come out, I was just like, just for entertainment value. Even if they booked that, I'd be so excited. I'd be like, fucking hell, just should be so much anticipation for that. But obviously now it sounds a little bit like Masvidal's leaning towards the title shot more.
Right.
So he's sort of backing himself away from Nate, even though they had like a couple of little words saying let's run it back and all that sort of shit. But I think you don't know what's going to happen. Like either that's going to happen, the title shot, and then I guess that leaves open the trilogy for Nate and Conor. But I still don't want that to happen.
You would like to see the full fight, no?
No, I don't know. It's just too stressful for me.
You're so invested in Conor's career. I love it. I really love it.
Well, no, I just wanted to see him fight other people. Like if I had to pick 3 people that I'd love to see him match up against in the summer, I'd say Masvidal, Gaethje, or I don't know. Fuck it. Like, what's it? Who's it? Welterweight? Tyron Woodley. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I would say Usman,
Masvidal, Leon Edwards, Wonderboy. But then in the lightweight, you've got Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson, Dustin Poirier, Dan Hooker. I mean, I'd love to see Khabib Conor again. I'd love to see Khabib Conor again because I don't think Conor can beat him, and I think it would just be funny to watch it again. The same thing happened.
Why wouldn't you? You want to watch Usman then instead?
I'd like to see Usman McGregor. I would like to see that. Yeah, it's terrible. Again, terrible fight.
Do you reckon he'd stand up with him? Because Ali Abdelaziz said, I know it's only a joke and no one would ever, it's not in the contract, but he said, first 2 rounds, we promise Usman won't try and take you down.
Oh, really?
So for the first 2 rounds, it's meant to be stand up. So, and Colby hit him with some fucking big shots. And like consistently as well. It was like he was just, I'm not sure how good his defense is. He's just got a rock of a chin.
Yeah.
But that was a 6 stand-up fight, and I think Conor against either of those 2 stand-up, like Conor Colby would be a sick fight. Like I know Colby's got the
sick, bro. That would be a sick fight.
I know that's another one. Yeah, I know. Like all the build, I think that's maybe like one of the biggest ones to make because you got the guy from Ireland who talks shit and fucking puts everyone down, and he's got like the whole of Ireland behind him, and then you've got this cunt who's like thinks he's got America like behind him, but. Well, he's probably got some of them.
Well,
yeah, look, with these on, wearing one of these.
Yeah.
But that'd be so good. All the build up, the press, and just because of their striking pedigree as well. I know Colby's got wrestling, but you know, he's so good on his stand up as well. The only thing is, he's got the cardio. I don't know. So Conor might have to get him out there early, but I don't know. Even that's exciting.
Yeah, that would excite me. I think it's a terrible, terrible fight for Conor, especially at welterweight, because you know it's not even his natural weight, I guess. But you know he looks so good against Cowboy. It's difficult to even make any predictions. He literally blew Cowboy out the water, and no one does that. So I don't know, man. It's very, very interesting to kind of see. You're a bit more on the pulse of the whole, you know, things people are tweeting and that kind of stuff, paying attention to a lot more than I do. So, you know, I'll keep you posted with that kind of stuff. But yeah, the Conor Usman one's obviously a bit weird. But anyway, speaking of Conor, again, he did release his fighters. We were having a slight conversation this week about who we thought were the best fighters and that kind of stuff. What did you do? Did you do your top 10 or?
No, I don't know. It's hard to pick because there's fighters that are like skill wise, but then I go with them just for like how entertaining they are.
Right.
Like I'd rather pick someone who's just goes out there and just like puts everything on the line. Doesn't try and, you know, them people that try not to lose. rather than trying to win.
Yep.
Like I fucking hate watching them fights, but yeah, I don't know. You've got all these top people. Like obviously for me the top three are probably Silva, GSP. I hate to say it, but probably John Jones.
That's my top three. That's exactly the top
Yeah,
three that I've got written down here. I've
that's
got Silva at number one,
that's
GSP, and then John Jones.
yeah, that's going on like their careers, title defenses. But then even them three, like I put Silva at the top for exciting fights. Even GSP, I'd put his above John Jones. Is maybe just more like because of recently. I think John Jones was wicked when he first come in, and he didn't care, and he was just blitzing through people. And then when he had a couple of rocky moments, he started. There's more decisions coming in there, and like I don't even think he plays it safe. It's just he found out a way to win fights over 5 rounds without taking too much damage.
Yeah, and you have to rate that as well. Again, it's not the most,
Yeah, no,
like you
cool.
said, it's not like you're not sitting there and like, oh, I'm mad, but you can appreciate the absolute, like, do you know what I mean? Just the absolute technique and everything of it. Like, do you know what I mean? It is quite impressive. Look, why don't we just quickly get into who we said we both thought was the GOAT? And
have you done a top 10?
I've got a top 10 here. Yeah, do you want to hear it?
I mean, you could do that, and I'll tell you where you've gone wrong.
All right, yeah, but then again, this is a bit of personal things thrown in as well. So my top 10 fighters. Right. So I've got Silva, I've got GSP, I've got John Jones. Obviously, we said that's the top 3. Number 4, I've got Mighty Mouse. And the reason why I've got Mighty Mouse there is because we did talk about DJ, and we just said about how, you know, fight's not as exciting, I guess, because the talent in the division isn't there. You know, he's not going to have the type of competitors that someone like John Jones has fought. But who was bruv, when he took Ray Borg down into from a German suplex straight into an armbar. I'm sorry. There's no one had ever. I'd never seen anything like that before. Joe Rogan had never seen anything like that before. He picked another man up, slammed him into the ground, and went straight into an armbar. Like, it's absolutely incredible. Like what he did in his career and the wins and stuff that he had, the amount of title defenses. Defending titles is a very, very big thing to me. That's why your mate ain't in my list, because if you're gonna win a title, you got to defend it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I know what you mean. But the only thing with that, which is totally true, he hasn't defended them, so we ain't gonna know. But the only thing is, his goal was to just keep going, like steam through, go up and up and up.
True.
Then the Mayweather thing happened. He's not going to say no to that, and then obviously he gets stripped or whatever. So it's like, I don't know. So he never lost his belts, did he? In fights,
Connor?
No,
we never defended him. It's the point, Pete.
That's what I mean. So technically,
technically he's still champ then. Fuck it.
Still double champ.
Fucking don't think it works like that, but no, I do. No. I see your point.
Do you know what I mean? For him to fulfill just that blitz he was on, he didn't want to wait around and be like, right, let me defend it a couple of times and then I'll move up, or let me defend that one a couple of. It's just like all these opportunities popped up, and he's just like, fuck it, I'll do that. Yeah,
no, I get it, and he'd be mad to turn those down, and he'd deserve it because he's worked for him to come from Ireland to get to global superstardom. I'd never begrudge anybody, and I do think he's a great fighter. I just don't think he's up there in my top 10. But speaking of my top 10, my number 5, you'll like, I've got Khabib in there as my number 5.
Just glad you got him at number 5.
Eh?
I'm glad you got him at number 5. Why is he not number 1? If he's unbeatable, why is he not at number 1?
I've never said he's unbeatable. I think he is. Everyone's beatable. Everyone's beatable. But I think because of his pure dominance, because the fact that he rarely, not the fact of losing fights. Okay, people lose fights. He doesn't lose rounds. Like, he doesn't even lose rounds. Like, he's just a dominant. What? Connor beat him around, did he? I disagree.
3, mate.
I disagree.
Wait, it's on paper. It's not me.
Didn't he submit him in round 3? What round did he submit him in?
No, it was round 4. Round first 2 he got smashed, and in round 3 it was more of stand up, I think. And then round 4 was when he got taken down again
and chucked out. But yeah, like I say, with Khabib, I just think he's in a great fighter. A lot of people, what they do is as well, which, and I've obviously seen a lot of Khabib fights, is because he's such a phenomenal wrestler and grappler, they just stopped paying attention to his hands, like Conor did, and he got clipped.
Yeah.
You got
Oh no, of
clipped with
course.
that overhand, you know. So a lot of people just think, oh, he's a one-trick pony, blah blah blah. Listen, this guy will bang you out and then take you down and just maul you. So I just had to put him in my top 5, 26-0, like. Just an absolute. I think it might be 27 now with Conor, or was it 26? I can't remember. But yeah, it's just an absolute beast. And then my second 5. Listen, this is going to be based on, after I've done my top 5, I think a lot of it's going to be based a bit down on opinion. So, you know, all of these are up for debate, and I'm happy to listen on opinions on all of these. But my other 5, I've got at number 6, I've got Daniel Cormier. At number 7, I've got Michael Bisping. At number 8, I've got Stipe. At number 9, I've got Nick Diaz. And at number 10, I've got Cowboy. The reason why I've got them in there, first of all, I can start from the bottom at number 10. Cowboy, mate. What most fights in the UFC, wants like fights all the time, entertaining as fuck. The head kick, was it who was it? Was it Matt Brown? I can't remember when he did that sick combination where it was like
no, it's Rick Story.
Oh mate, it was just absolutely.
Yeah, it was like, I know what you mean. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like what Carlos Condit used to do. So it's like, it was like a 3-punch combo ended with like 2 kicks or something. Like, yeah, it was fucking weird. It was good though.
Absolutely mad. Yeah. But no, the one I am thinking of one against Matt Brown as well. So at UFC 206, he KO'd Matt Brown with he KO'd Matt Brown with a head kick. It was just incredible the way I remember he did it like a proper, it was like he was in the gym and Matt Brown was there, hit him with a left, hit him with a right, hit him with the head kick, and Matt Brown just dropped like a sack of potatoes. And I love Matt Brown as well. I love him. So
I know.
it was, I wasn't over the moon about it, but just to see some of his wins, but some of the people that he's fucking beat, like it's incredible. Like Benson Henderson, he's beat Eddie Alvarez, Edson Barboza, like, you know, it's just mad. It's just mad. He's fought
just for
everyone.
The UFC as well. Yeah, that's like for someone to represent him and just be like, yeah, he's literally someone who will be like, they'll be like, do you want to fight tomorrow? He'd be like, yeah, okay, fine. Like, it's just to have someone like that and be that entertaining as well. Yeah, he's definitely. That's a good shout. Putting him in the GOAT list.
I'd have to. 52,
there's no
fights.
Yeah, there's no one like him. There's no one like him really.
Exactly, and that's what I love, Pete. I love it when there's no one like that fighter. That's what I like.
Yeah, I think that's why I say sometimes you can't look at stats and stuff. You have to look at what they've done, like inside the sport, outside the sport, like what they represent. Like Ali, I'll always say he's the greatest. And people be like, oh yeah, but he lost this and he lost that. He lost to this person. What about this person? I'm just like, yeah, but like no one really talks about them, do they? Because they didn't do what he did at that time.
Bro,
like someone could say Rocky Marciano was undefeated, and it was like, how many times you sit there watch a Rocky Marciano fight? I don't. I've seen a couple. Yeah, he was a beast, but Ali's the greatest.
I completely agree. I think when it's someone who has to transcend the sport, if you're talking GOATs, it's someone who has to transcend. It's someone who has to just identify on her. And I'll be honest as well. There's always 2 different lists. We're recording a 2Ps on a pod later, which is another podcast you can go and listen to. And we're doing top 10 video games, what we thought was our top 10 video games. But I had to ask, and again, it's a bit like fighters. Are you asking me who I think is the top 10 best fighters, or are you asking me who's my top 10 favorite? It's completely different. It's completely different, and it's the same for like rappers, MCs, so like all this kind of stuff. It's all different because my number 1 fighter, I told you of all time, like I love Rich Franklin. Like no one's going to probably be above Rich Franklin for me because he got me into the sport. I was 14, 15, watching this maths teacher bang people out, thinking this is fucking incredible. Like it's going to be difficult for anyone to like transcend that. So yeah, Cowboy's in there because he's one of my favorites.
Is this UFC? Sorry.
This is
this UFC or all MMA?
Yeah, this is
UFC. Yeah.
The reason why I kind of done it as UFC is because if we were talking about other fighters, you have to talk about Fedor, you have to talk about Vanderlei, you have to talk about Dan Henderson.
I was going to say Vanderlei is one of the best ever of pioneers of the sport. You got when him and Tito were at their best, it was just entertainment as well. Like Tito brought that WWE side of it, talking shit to the Shamrocks and stuff like that, and making out he was burying someone in the ring, and then all the teams fighting each other and stuff. And then you got Vanderlei just fucking literally murdering people in Pride. And then he didn't have the best run in UFC, but he was still fucking had some of the best fights. Like even the ones when he lost, they were entertaining. Like
100%.
the Chris Lieben fight when they're just banging each other, and like Lieben drops, his knees drop a little bit, and then he hits him back. It's like, oh, he's knocked him out now. Like the Brian Stan fight, that was fucking all over the place. You got them, they was lifting each other off their feet with punches. I was just like, fucking hell. But yeah, if it's just UFC, then yeah, that's a good list.
Yeah, it's just UFC. I've got Nick Diaz in there as well. You know, I just think again transcends the sport, such a character. And you know, if you look at a lot of his losses as well, like the loss to Anderson Silva is very, very sort of, you know, controversial because of him getting tested and all that kind of stuff. But just, I personally think he's one of the greatest fighters of all time. I really, really do. It's a shame that he's had to retire in the way he has. But to beat BJ Penn, Paul Daly, you know, Frank Shamrock, he beat, you know, it's just some of the names on this fucking record is mad.
The Robbie Lawler one was the one that set him up. I love that Joe Rogan story when he's like, gets in the cage and this young kid gets in and Robbie Lawler's a beast, and you got this kid from Stockton just shouting, "Stockton, motherfucker!" He's just, Robbie Lawler's like, "What's going on?" What are you talking about?
Mad. And he beat Robbie Lawler in the UFC. You know, he beat him.
Oh yeah, it was a mad knockout.
Punch.
Yeah, like with a fucking jab.
Incredible. Beat Chris Lytle as well. Like, just he's just an entertaining fighter. And what I love about Nick as well is, all right, stand with him. You get banged out, go to the ground, he'll choke you out. You know, it's just, that's what I love. That's why I love the Diaz brothers, because their jiu-jitsu, their striking, their endurance. Yeah, everything about them, mate, is just banging. Stipe, I don't want to just gloss over Stipe, but I'm just thinking about time. But Stipe, I think, he's up in contention. Very underrated fighter, bruv. He's beat some of the names he's beat. I don't think he gets a lot of recognition. What do you think?
It's weird how you put him behind DC.
Yeah, I agree with you. That is a bit weird.
If you're going on defences, because he's got the best. That's what they say. He's the best heavyweight of all time because of his defences. No one's defended it that many times. But then
the only reason I've got DC above him is because DC's done it in two.
He's done it in both, yeah, and he'd done it in another organisation as well.
Exactly.
I think he was 2-weight in another one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was. He was. Yeah. But you got, like, do you know what I mean? Some of the people that Stipe's beat: DC after avenging the loss, Francis Ngannou, Junior Dos Santos, Alistair Overeem, Fabrizio Verdum, Andrei Arlovski, Mark Hunt, Gabriel Gonzaga, Roy Nelson, Joey Beltran, mate. Like, just it's incredible what he's done, but he's not one of the fighters that's transit, because like, I'm not being funny, and I know I can't really understand the fella, so it doesn't help. Like, you know what I mean? You know when you're trying to do interviews and that, and he's just like blah, 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 and it's just like, all right, like it'd be good if you could like,
big Croatian. Where's he? Croatian, isn't he? Like,
yeah, Croatian. He's from Cleveland.
American Croatian.
Like, he's just a savage, like absolute savage. Yeah. So yeah, I love Stipe. And then we mentioned DC there. Like, everything DC's done, you know, in his career is fantastic. He's only ever really been beaten by John Jones and Stipe up until recently. So I think what he's done is great. And the important thing for me is about all these fighters, well, most of these fighters. The reason why I'd put a little asterisk next to Silva, next to John Jones, is because they've tested positive for stuff, and it does.
It
puts a bit of a damper on it.
Yeah, I know they're only like it might be. Well, I know the Silva one. I'm pretty sure that was like for a back injury or something. So it's like because he took something to try and get himself fully fit. It wasn't like he was 100% and was like, no, I want to give myself a 10% boost. It was like, no, to get through this training camp, I need to have this tablets or injections or whatever, but I guess he fucked up there. But John Jones's ones are a bit weird. I don't know.
Very strange. Yeah, so that's the only question mark I'll put against it. But obviously I'll come to you for some fighters in a minute as well. But I just wanted to just very, very heavily highlight my number 7 of Michael Bisping. Never, ever, ever tested positive. The most wins in the UFC when he was a current fighter until Cowboys taking his record. Most significant strikes landed in UFC history. Mate, I just think, you know, ex-middleweight champion, you know, just he's a fucking G, bruv. He flies the flag for Britain so fucking hard. And I just have to have first of all, it's good to have a British fighter in there, and it's good to have an English fighter where I'm like, if you put him on a top 10, I haven't just got him in there because he's English. He deserves to be talked about with these people. The fact that he's went over there in the Ultimate Fighter because he won the Ultimate. I think he won the very first Ultimate Fighter, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, it's just no. Was it the second one?
No, it's no. I think it was number 2. They won.
What's his name? Won the first one, didn't he? What's his name?
Forrest
Griffin.
Forrest. Did they only do one weight? No, there was 2 weights, wasn't there? Forrest Griffin and
Stephen
Kenny
Bonner.
Florian, maybe.
So I know he beat Stephen Bonner in the final, didn't he?
Yeah. So Forrest won the light heavyweight section, and I think there was the smaller guys like. I'm sure there was 2 weights.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, because it was welterweight. Was it welterweight or lightweight as well?
There was light heavyweight, and then there was middleweight.
Don't tell me you won the middleweight. Was it Josh Koscheck?
Let's have a look. So, Forrest Griffin won that. No, actually, it wasn't.
Don't tell me. Give me a clue.
You'll know. Like he's fucking still fighting.
What weight is this?
This is in. I don't know if you fight.
Oh, not Diego. Is it Diego?
Yeah, bruv. Diego Sanchez.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Yeah, he fought Kenny Florian in the.
That was okay.
In the final there. So yeah, fucking mad, absolutely mad. Who was I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Rich Franklin was one of the coaches on this show.
That was that Rich Franklin and Chuck Liddell, maybe. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was Rich and Chuck. So that was when they used to do the weird games down on the beach and shit, like picking people up on chairs and running around cones and shit. But then I swear, whoever lost that, one of the fighters got sent home, so they didn't even get a chance to fight.
Oh shit!
It was fucking mad. Yeah, they had some weird. It was like a game show. It was like a weird concept they had, and it was fucking funny though. Like, I remember watching it. It was like one of the first reality TV shows I watched, and you've got one guy. It might have been in the first or second series. It's like he actually went home because his girlfriend sent him a letter saying, "Oh, since you've been on telly, I heard you cheated on me with some girl." And he's like crying, saying, "I've got to go home," and that. And then the camera cuts to Dana or BJ Penn, and BJ Penn bursts out laughing. He's like, "What the fuck, man?" He's like, "You've got the opportunity of a lifetime. You're going home because your missus thinks you're cheating on her." He's like, "You fucking idiot." Dana's like, "Look, if you want to go, just go. I've got no words." Like,
yeah.
Geezer was a beast as well.
Oh, that is fucking ridiculous. I remember there's a scene when he has to. There's a scene when he has to like have a chat with him to be like, "Fucking listen, lads, you're supposed to be here to fight. Like, if anyone here don't want to fight, fucking fight."
I'm sure that's number 2. I think that's number 2 with Joe Daddy Stevenson, and that's when he's like trying to be a fuck because they're all pissing about. I think they got drunk. And that and started fucking about.
That's the one. I love the Ultimate Fight. I haven't watched one for years, but when they first started, like Coach Rampage against Coach Rashad and that, like, it was fucking brilliant.
I know, so funny. Like, especially if you get 2 coaches that are fucking funny together as well. Either they hate each other or they're like just having banter together. It's so good.
There's a ESPN do those 30 for 30 shows. Like, have you ever watched the documentaries they do? Yeah, they've got there's a fucking really, really good one that I've started watching. I might have to turn it off because the missus didn't like it. I'll have to watch it by myself. But it was Chuck and Tito. They did a 30 for 30 on Chuck and Tito. And they basically start off at like the beginning of the UFCs and like they showed like UFC 1 and 2 and that, and you've got like fucking Mark Coleman and Ken Shamrock and like no gloves, and they're just fucking battering people. And she was like, "Can we turn this
off?" Up to the max.
Yeah, just everyone's on roids, everyone's fucking massive, everyone's jacked. Nice. Mark Coleman's headbutting people. It's absolutely graphic. But yeah, Pete, is there anyone that that you'd obviously, I'm not asking you to do a list, but is there any fighters that you think, obviously, you can, I know you can wax lyrical about fucking Conor all day, but is there anyone that you think, do you know what, I'd definitely put him up there?
I'd definitely put him in there. I wouldn't know where I'd put him, but I'd put him in there just for the sheer fucking tear that he went on. He just done something that no one ever really done. Maybe he did. Maybe it was because he could talk it up as well, but in
But
all
that's
those
part of
fights.
it,
He always
though. That's
backed it
part
up.
of it.
Yeah, and he never run away from anything. Even when he lost, he's like, he's got that mentality where he's like, fuck that, I want to get straight back in there and fight Nate again. Yeah, it's just, even Khabib, like, after just getting fucking dominated, like, you'd think to yourself, right, fuck that, I don't really want to fight that guy again. I'll try and avoid him, but to keep going after him and just be like, no, I know I can do it. No, I've got the tools to do it, or just the belief to do it. Yeah, I think it's just because I remember watching his fight. No one really compares. The only person, maybe it's because I liked him so much anyway, I was a fan from the start, but the only person that really compared entertainment wise was Silva. Like, I'd be sitting there fucking 4 a.m. glued to the telly as they're coming in for their entrances, and them two for me, entertainment wise, were like holy shit moments. I've probably put loads of photos on Facebook of me with my mouth open, just like, oh fuck, I can't believe. But you got like the front kick from Silva. I got the same reaction from the Aldo punch. I was just like, I couldn't believe what I was watching. I'm sitting there thinking, as they both done it, I'm like, these are the greatest fighters. Like, no one compares in doing shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, just for that reason, really. And just,
Where did you watch that Aldo fight, Conor Aldo?
I think I was just at home on my own. I'm pretty sure I was at home, fucking nervous. Like, I've watched. Did I watch both? No, I think I watched the first Nate one on my own, and then the second one I watched with Slee. So like, me and my mate Slee were like sitting downstairs. We were both nervous, having a few beers, and I remember like when he started getting rocked in round 2, I was like, oh no, he's doing it again.
Yeah.
And then like for him to come back, and that was one of the greatest fights. That's what I was going to say actually. It was like, because your list is pretty on it with like, that's all the people I'd have in there anyway. But like, I was thinking when you mentioned like the Ultimate Fighter, then like when you talk about greatest fighters and what they've done for the sport, I think probably still the greatest fight, even though we've had some mad ones lately, like the women's title fight was probably one of the best ever.
Yeah, mad.
But in terms of doing something for the sport, and still you could watch it now and be like, still get goosebumps and get excited, was the Forrest Griffin Stephan Bonner fight. I might watch it tonight actually. I might try and find it somewhere. That was, you could still watch that. If someone didn't like UFC and they're like, oh shit, it's just two blokes hugging in a cage, like, I don't want to watch that shit. And if they were like, right, show me one fight then to get me into it, you'd whack that on. You'd put 100%. That on every time.
100%. That's the fight. The UFC is as big as it is because of that. I think like it was that fight was an absolute war. And I did see a little Ultimate Fighter reunion show that was on TV recently. They all had like a big dinner. The only person that wasn't there, I think, was Koscheck. I think, if I'm not mistaken,
okay.
I think he got sacked.
Oh, you mean reunion of the show? What's that on? Is that?
It was on BT. It was on BT. It was like a reunion show, and they all sat around and had a dinner, talking about it and stuff like that. And then they just basically, they were talking about things in the show. They were talking about Diego being an absolute nutcase inside of the house and that kind of stuff, like doing his yoga. He was getting drunk and then doing his stretches and shit. Yeah. Like, he's just so funny, like,
proper lightweight.
So funny.
But like, even that, like, for the UFC to do that, like, you wouldn't think you'd see reality shows in all different types of shit, but for them to be like, you know what we should do? We should get all these fighters in a house living together and then have them fight each other. It just fucking sounds like so much fun. Imagine just organising that.
Mad.
It's like, you guys are all going to just beat the shit out of each other and we're going to watch and just enjoy it.
Did you ever see the series where BJ Penn was a coach?
I think that was the one I was on about, when that guy went home because of his missus.
Right. So it was the Ultimate Fighter 5. It was him and Jens Pulver.
Is that Nate? That's Nate, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm sure 5's Nate. Yeah. That was with the street fight in the back garden. That was fucking sick as well. There's two guys. One guy was, I can't remember his name, but they got arguing around the campfire, and everyone just thought they were joking. They're like, "Go on, hit me first. No, I don't want to get chucked out. I don't want to." And then one bloke just fucking head kicks the other guy or just smacks him. And then they just start having this mad grappling match. And I think it ends with, goes onto the concrete and the guy tries for a triangle again on this Street Fighter guy, and he just lifts him up and slams him on the concrete, and everyone's like, oh. And then obviously Dana finds out about it. But it's funny because the bald guy is the guy that He's actually a good character, but I think he's probably talking a bit of shit. He was like, "Yeah, I've had over 400 or 500 street fights, like to zero. I've
Yeah.
won them all," or something like that. So that guy was like, "Well, I pretty much just beat you in the garden. So do I get your 500 wins?" But you got Nate in the background, like, "Oh shit, it's the best street fight I've ever seen. The most technical street fight I've ever seen."
There was some good on season 5. It was Nate Diaz, Gray Maynard was on it, Joe Lozon was on it. Had some good fighters on there. And Nate, I think it was Nate and Joe. They did the thing where they fucked up each other's beds. Do you remember that? He chucked his mattress in the swimming pool and shit as well.
Joe who? Sorry,
Joe Lozon,
Joe.
you know, with the ears.
Joe Laz. Oh, did he? Oh, fuck yeah, no, I can't remember that. I remember that was the one. That was actually one of the best ones. My mate Layla said she just watched it because her and her husband Luke are really getting into like UFC at the moment, and they're going through all the Ultimate Fighters. Yeah, and that was the one that had so much in it. Cara Parisian comes in to like support Manny Gamburian, I think, but like they have an altercation with Nate.
Yeah.
Oh, Nate's like, it's so awkward because it's almost like a fight in school where you're like, oh God, is there something going to kick off? And even though I'm watching a TV show, I'm getting nervous for him. And Nate's like, man, you walk towards me one more time, I'm going to pop you in the mouth. Cara Parisian's like, what? You want to talk to me like that, little boy? Because he is. He's like so young back then, like
he
21 years old or some shit like that.
He won it.
Yeah, he was sick.
Fucking beast,
so
bro.
good in that.
This is the episode. This is the series as well, where at the beginning they got to choose fighters, and BJ goes, "Okay, everybody who want to be on my team, put your hand up." And like, bro, so many people put their hand up.
Oh right.
It's so awkward because BJ goes,
"Oh yeah,"
and then he goes, "Okay, so yeah, I'll just have all those." And Dana's like, "No, you choose a fighter, then Jens chooses a fighter." And he's like,
"Oh,
yeah, but all these people have put their hand up saying they want to be on my team." And he goes,
Yeah.
No. You choose a fucking fighter, and then you choose a fighter. What do you mean? And he's like, and then Jens is like, yeah, but I don't want them fuckers on my team. They've put their hands up, and Dana's like, I don't give a fuck what you two want. Like, this is the fucking, Christ. This is so the show. Fun. This is the way that it's working. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, man, crazy show. Yeah.
That was the one with sorry, I was just gonna say
Go on.
I'm sure that was the one where there was a guy, I can't remember his name, and he couldn't cut weight. So he asks to go and have like a what's it called? Is it an enema?
No
way. Is that the word? He's like, I've done it before, man. I've done it before in my training camp, and it loses pounds. He goes and has it done. They're all videoing it and shit. The camera crew actually go with him to the hospital wherever he fucking goes. Enema clinic, I don't know what you call it. And he's just, you see it all coming out and they weigh him afterwards. He ain't lost shit, literally.
He has lost shit. He has lost shit.
Well, like, it must have done, and he's trying to crawl out of the sauna back at the house. And BJ's just like, look, man, if you need to cut, I think it was like he had to do another 2 pounds or something. But he was like, man, I can't, I'm dying. Please help me. Please someone push me back in. And BJ's doing his interview, just pissing himself laughing, doing an impression of him. He's like, oh, I'm dying. It's so fucking good.
I'd love to go back and watch some of these. It's just finding the time.
They're long, aren't they? Yeah, it's long. Yeah, just best to watch the highlights, I think.
That's it. Just watch some YouTube clips of it. Peter, absolutely fantastic, mate. Good catching up. I'm really excited to see what happens with Woodley this week. I'm looking
Staying up.
Might stay up, might watch it next day. I don't know. Is it one of those ones that I'm gonna stay up for? I don't know. The only good thing for me at the moment is I'm off work now for the next week or so. It's my birthday on Monday. So I'm excited to have some time off. Yeah, so I could stay up. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so I could just stay up. I ain't got to worry about work.
They're doing it at the you've seen where they're doing it?
It's at Vegas, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's the Apex. So I think it's the training facility. So it's going to be really small. It's actually going to be like one of the old Ultimate Fighters, I think.
Oh, that is fucking quite sick.
Yeah, so that's what it looks like. Anyway, I've seen a picture of Dana sitting next to a cage that's inside the Apex, and it looks like it's got like a mini arena in it, like what they had for Bonner and Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
Probably about fucking 2,000 people well, could sit in there, but there ain't going to be no one in there.
Right. Oh, that's quite cool. I like that.
That's a bit, they don't need stadiums, do they, or arenas? There's
It's
no
a
point.
fight.
It's just
It's a fucking fight. Yeah, it's not as if you need a football pitch, is it? You just need a cage and a couple of
no.
geezers. That's it. You could do it in the back.
Literally put the octagon up in the car park. That's all you need.
That would be sick. All right, Pete. We'll catch up again after this one. Really excited to see what happens with it, mate. We'll catch up again. Thank you very much for listening. If you just sat through that, we really appreciate it. And we'll be back next week. See you later, mate.
See you later.
Take care.